Hello music creators, Mike here. So I love the sound of guitars, both electric guitars and acoustic guitars. And in fact, I have an electric guitar myself. But you know what the problem is? I suck at playing it. And that is because I am mainly a music composer as well as a keyboardist or pianist. So I never really practiced the guitar enough, but I want to use them in my music. So I have been searching for great guitar VST plugins and sample libraries for years. And in this video, I'm gonna share my personal favorite electric and acoustic VST guitars right now. Alright, so let's get to the main point straight away. In my opinion, the best guitar VST plugins, both acoustic and electric, is the range from Ample Sound. So they have a huge range of different guitars. And I'm going to tell you why this is my favorite, but let's dive into the DAW here, and I will show you my composition here, which is a cinematic composition, because that is what I do, my style of music, and I want to add guitars without having to record them myself. So I've used 3 different guitars in this composition: an acoustic, a more rock style electric, and then a metal heavily distorted one. So I'm going to play a bit of this without the guitars first. So this is the original composition. Right, something like that. But I want to spice it up with some pluck and energy from guitars. So the first thing I added was this acoustic guitar, which is, let's see, this one here, Ample guitar, a Martin acoustic. And this is the interface. That is one part of why these products are my favorite guitars, but let's get to that later. I'm simply going to play this for you. In fact, I added some probably unusual effects here. First of all, I rolled off the low end, took away some of the harshness, added some shimmer because I want this to be in the background, added a big reverb, and I also added a tremolo for a special stereo effect on it, because it simply works in the composition. So without it again, but with it. Right, so that is the acoustic guitar. Works straight away. I mean, I recorded this live on my MIDI keyboard, and I didn't do much of editing, slight alterations in timing, but other than that, it's straight out of Ample Sound, Ample Guitar Martin here. All right, the next thing is I still wanted to add some low-end energy and drive, because that is why I love electric guitars. So I added this Ample Vintage Cherry, which is a great, classic rock sound guitar. And I mean, what I did is I recorded, so this is not a good programmed sequence, but so it doesn't really work well in solo. It works okay, but in the mix, it really works great. I mean, listen before. And with it. And on this, I simply brought down the high end to push it into the background, added a reverb here on it, and then simply I recorded a low note, and then I copied it a perfect fifth above and an octave to have this, power chord kind of rhythm. But I didn't use any key switches. I just used a muted key switch here all throughout, but that is dependent on the velocity of how hard you hit your keys. So on the lower you go, the more chuggy the sound pole muted it becomes. Of course, if you want to spice it up, you you should not use all power chords all throughout, but add some variation, perhaps a little filler riff or something. And then I also tried to add this metal eclipse, another of their guitars, which is, of course, as the name suggests, metal in its tone. So what I did is I just cloned this part here, so it's placed exactly the same, so I can switch between them. So the more rock style drive is the first one. Like that. But this one is, of course, more gritty and dark and mean. And one aspect of having a more distorted tone like this is that the notes, due to the high amount of distortion, are a bit longer and the pluckiness attack is not as pronounced. So it depends on what you need for your composition. More pronounced attack and crisp sound, or more gritty and, sustained sounds. Blurred attacks, basically. And on this, I simply did the same, practically brought down lots of the high end, because this is a backing rhythm track, basically, so I don't need lots of high-end information. And then I use some reverb on top of it. I mean, if you listen to without anything on top, it gets way, way too upfront and close and dry sound. So that is how I personally use these guitars. I mean, it's also very easy to play. Let's see if I can find... Let's bring up the interface now so I can show you this. So the first aspect of why I love these guitars is the interface. It's beautiful, it's simple and easy layout, and all the key switches are here clearly, so you can see. And here, I mean, they have the key switcher for the sustain. The palm mute, so on very low velocity it's a shag, and then it opens up a bit more until it turns into sustain. So that is my default. Then they have slides, I believe it is. Harmonics. There's the slide. A little Top Gun for you. So, let's see what this was. Legato slide. Oh, okay, and I believe the mod wheel, is the vibrato. So you can do these really cool riffs. You have to really learn how to play. I found that's tricky to play guitar correctly on a keyboard, but I've seen people do it on YouTube, so... And then you can just play from one note to two note harmonies. Or play even power chords. I think it's too much to play power chords with one hand like this, so I usually play the one note and then layer on top in the sequencer. So let's say that is the riff, then I layered on top with the octave first. Or just the fifth. Like that. Another thing is that it has several pages where you can use create patterns here. They have a tab, guitar tab here. Well, this is the guitar tab. I'm not used to these kinds of this is the riffer, I believe. But basically, I like to use plugins that you can create stuff easily and fast on, even if it's not the best sound in solo. So again, I mean, not the most inspiring thing, but in a mix, in a cinematic composition like this, it just works. All right, let's go back to the interface. Okay, so let's use it on the Ample Vintage Cherry now. They have, a automatic double engine, so this in mono in the middle. And if I press this, you get that left-right double tracking. For rhythm guitars, which I mainly use myself, this is almost mandatory. They have a capo, which I don't really use, but I mean, if you want to play higher on the guitar neck, you can do so. You can pan, but basically, I don't want to have to go in and do this stuff. So they already did it for me with these presets. Another thing I love about this, so you get this. This one is the default. You have this Black Sabbath here, completely different tone. And you can see there's, let's see, rhythm presets and lead presets. So let's use the Cherry Blues here, another sound. And by the way, right now I'm simply using the sustain and the key switch here, the articulation. But there's so much you can do if you want to dive deeper, of course. Let's see, we can go to the bridge, just change the... So as you can see, I mean, I rarely dive into these specialty things here, but this riff engine is really cool because it has a dice mode, so you can actually choose, let's say you want, this is the complexity, let's do a middle, and then use arpeggio riff, or let's do strum, no, let's use arpeggio, and then we'll make it a add 9 chord in E, and then shuffle with the dice here, and you get this riff created automatically for you, so you can play it here. And you can still change out, let's do a clean bypass all effects and see what it sounds like. And if you prefer, you can actually create your own presets right in here. And you can even import and create guitar tabs and use those. Can even drag and drop the MIDI from this part after you created it into your sequencer. So lots of powerful features with the Ample Sound guitars. But to me, it's like, it's the ease of use of the interface and workflow together with how easy it is just to add it in my compositions. Of course, if you want to produce rock music, metal, and whatever, you can do pretty much everything with this. For me, often I just want to add that rhythm guitar for the low end in my cinematic music compositions. And it adds so much character, because without it, I mean, it's no other instrument can do what a guitar can do. Oops, let's add the EQ and reverb again. I think I prefer the Vintage Cherry on this track, to be honest. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, I made it clean. Yeah, the default sound I think I used. I'm not even sure what I used when I began this video, but I think it was a rhythm. Children of the Sea. Let's try that one. It has to load in the sounds. Okay, so that's towards the clean. I don't remember, but I mean, once you have a preset here that you enjoy, just start using it. Let's use that one and record. And once you have that, add the power chords as you want. Make it a lead guitar if you want. Make it a rhythm guitar. Oh, that was not it. I have to remember for the next time which presets I'm actually using in my tracks. Probably write it down or something on the track. So that is my favorite guitar plugins right now. Ample sound. They have lots of acoustics, several electrics, and yeah, I will leave a link in the description so you can check them out yourself. They even have a couple of freebies, light versions, I believe, of at least one or two of these guitars, so you can check them out for yourself in your music, and then see if you want to invest in your music composer and producer toolkit one of these amazing guitar plugins. Now choose which video you are going to watch next, or you can check out the amazing bonuses in the video description.